Awesome. Hello, welcome back. It's myself and Corne here. Hello.
Hello.
How do you think this is going so far?
Going great. Yeah.
You've been on the couch for a couple of hours now, and you've been seeing and living the world we've been living for. I don't know what's the time for. So at least 9 hours. But still a long way to go. We have our next speaker coming up. It is Nurhak Kaya. Oh, hey Nurhak.
Hello.
Great to see you. Matching hoodies as well. And Nurhak, what are you going to be talking to us about today?
So today I'll be sharing my experiences with my Umbraco upgrades from 7 to 8 to the latest version of Umbraco, which is 11, as you know.
Yeah, that's particularly interesting and very topical because I know a lot of people are going through that pain right now with 7 becoming end of life, and people also wanting the new shiny features of 9 and beyond. So I look forward to this. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Absolutely, I'm ready. Yeah, I'll start sharing my screen. Hopefully I can share my screen.
Let's hope.
Right, can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. So I was going to say hello, everybody. Hello, beautiful people, and Callum, but I'm not going to make the same joke again. So today I'm going to talk about the ultimate guide to upgrade your V7 and V8 projects to V11. This has been actually quite a long journey because my first upgrade experience to V8 from 7, that was in 2020, and that's when we had lots of unknowns. So what I did at the time, I did quite a lot of tried quite a few things, and then wrote this blog post, and basically I said, this is crazy. Like, I can't really upgrade a V7 project to V8 because there are lots of breaking changes. But obviously that didn't change the fact that I had to upgrade my V7 projects and now V8 projects. So what I did, I ended up digging in, reading a lot of documentation, asking a lot of questions to a lot of people from Umbraco HQ and from the community. And so one example is basically like I asked questions about like their people's approaches for upgrades, etc. And recently I also wrote an article for Script.io. So what I'll be talking about is a summary of this blog post too. So feel free to take a look at it, and I'll also share my notes in the end on GitHub. Right. So let's start. Okay. So first, today's agenda is I'm going to introduce myself shortly because some of you know about me, but a lot of people you don't know about me. And I'm going to talk about whether it is time to do the Umbraco upgrades from 7 and 8 to the latest version of Umbraco. And I will mention some of the Umbraco upgrade options. And then I will mention my 12 upgrade steps. And then I'm going to have some final notes and future Umbraco upgrade notes, and then a Q&A session. Right, so my name is Nurhak Kaya. I'm a technical architect based in Bristol, UK. I work for Gridstate. I'm an Umbraco certified master, an Umbraco MVP. I'm also a proud member of one of the Umbraco community teams, which is Umbraco Community Team. That's the name. So I've been working with Umbraco since 2014. I've had a chance to work with V4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 versions. And I try to contribute to Umbraco CMS in multiple ways, writing blogs, answering questions on forums, Stack Overflow, organizing events, attending events, etc., PRs, of course. Right, so the crucial question is it time for Umbraco upgrades? The answer is absolutely yes. But let's clarify one thing, because when I did my first V8 upgrade in 2020, this upgrade term actually confused me a lot, even though Umbraco documentation explicitly says that it is not an upgrade, but it is, literally spinning up a new project and then doing data migrations, moving the custom code, etc. So please be aware if you don't know this is not an upgrade, but it is a fresh start. And yes, we have to upgrade our projects because V7 it is fast approaching its end of life, and end of life for V7 is September 2023, and it's not really that different for V8. Like it is entering its security only phase, in February 2024, and at the moment we don't have any new features for V8. And the final V8 release is going to be in February 2025. But as I said, like I don't expect these new releases. They will be all about some security patches, etc. Right. So as you already know, like V9 was released in September 2021, and the current latest version of Umbraco is 11.10, and that is running on .NET 7. Okay, so just briefly, I want to mention why was the .NET Core move so important. So one of the main reasons was obviously, like Microsoft stopped working, stopped implementing new changes for .NET Framework, and so because of that reason, Umbraco also had to kind of move to .NET Core. So this made the change necessary, absolutely necessary, simply because Microsoft kind of stopped working on .NET Framework. So what happened at the time? Umbraco HQ and Umbraco community members, they came together and they moved the code base from .NET Framework to .NET Core. I'm not going to say .NET Core, by the way, it's now .NET. Right, so what has changed from V7 to V8? Again, this is a brief explanation, but a lot of old and legacy code was removed and the new APIs and features were introduced. This created a lot of breaking change, a lot of changes between V7 and V8 source codes, and that made the upgrades practically impossible. But Umbraco gave us a nice option to migrate the content and media. And again, what has changed from V8 to V9? So briefly put, the initial approach was not to introduce any new features from V8 to V9, but simply move the code from .NET Framework to .NET. And once the first version of V9 was ready, then new Umbraco and .NET features followed. And with the Umbraco.NET move complete, now we can all say that Umbraco CMS is more future-proof, and obviously it has got much better performance as well as the support of the latest security improvements and the features of .NET. Right. Okay. So when I have been working on my upgrades, obviously I have had a chance to try quite a few options. And in my blog post, I have mentioned some of these options. And if first option could be if you have got a lot of custom code, maybe it could be just better to spin up a new Umbraco 11 website, create all your Umbraco objects according to your latest requirements, and then maybe write some scripts to do your content migration. So you can write some scripts and connect your I don't know, old V7 database, let's say, and then maybe create some JSON files, for example, and then you can write a little bit more core and then reach those JSON files and then create your new content in your brand new V11 website. So this is one approach. I know that various community members, they have previously created very nice blog posts, I think including Corny as well, and Paul Steele, again, we all know that he's great at creating wonderful content for Umbraco, and he has got some blog posts. He's, I think, creating some XML files rather than JSON files, but you can find the best option for yourself. Another approach could be using some third-party software. In fact, today I had a chance to chat with EnterSpeed. So I've been also playing with EnterSpeed software. So what you can do, you can push your old content from your Umbraco website into this EnterSpeed app, and then create your database schema there, and then you can get your content directly from the EnterSpeed app, for example, into your new Umbraco website. And with this approach, if you've got some other data resources, I don't know if you've got Sitecore, for example, or some other CMS solutions, you can push all data into one single place, and then just consume the CMS data from there. So this is the second approach. And final approach is what I think quite a lot of Umbraco developers follow. That is to spin up, new Umbraco websites, doing the database, and also content upgrades and content migration. And that is what I have been mostly doing, and that's what I will continue to talk about. And also, like, here's a little example, by the way, about what I've been doing to get opinions from different people. Like Twitter, I use Twitter a lot, and I would like to thank again the Umbraco community, like, for all their answers, because they have helped me to, create this presentation, as well as creating my blog post for Script.io. Right. So I want to obviously simplify things as much as possible for everybody, and I've come up with 12 upgrade steps. Right. First step, obviously create backups. As you already know, like, it is always a good habit to create backups, both for your source code and database before and after each step. We all know that, like, big upgrades, they are all risky, and things can go wrong anytime. So yeah, be smart, be safe. So always create backups. Okay, step 2. So assuming you have got your Umbraco 7 website, and you have to upgrade your Umbraco 7 website to a minimum of 7.14.0, and ideally upgrade it to the latest version of v7. But definitely make sure that 7.14.0, that's your minimum Umbraco 7 version. I'm not going to get into details of this because there are quite a lot of details for every single version. But because of some breaking changes, 7.14.0 is like one of the magic numbers. But as I said, please upgrade it to the latest version of v7. Okay, another thing, because you are going to spin up new Umbraco websites and you're going to do some data migration, it's really important to get rid of all the data that you won't need. So in order to do that, first of all, if you don't need some of your data, simply just delete it, because you are not going to need it. And when you delete your Umbraco data, obviously you are moving them into your Umbraco recycling bin, and then just go there and empty your recycle bin too, because you are not going to need that. And apart from that, Soran has got this nice package, UN version. So you can use UN version to clean up your database version history. Again, in most cases, you are not going to need your database version history. And if you need to, maybe you can, I don't know, you can find a different approach, but try to get rid of the version history if you can. And if the UN version package is not good for you, then there are quite a lot of answers on Umbraco forum. You can maybe write your own, like, SQL script, and then some Doji scripts, as Callum would have said. So you can write some Doji scripts and then remove your database version history too. Right. Another thing, before doing anything else, so after you have done your cleanup, use the pre-migration health checks package. So this is a very useful package. And what this does, it identifies some problems, some possible problems, which may prevent the database from being migrated to v8. And if there are any problems, the package will try to fix them. And otherwise, it's going to show some errors to you. So you should first focus on those errors. And if there are any problems, then you should really fix them. ProWorks, they have got some great, like, blog posts. And definitely, let me show a couple of them to you. So ProWorks has got this blog post, which is about how to upgrade Umbraco version 7 to version 8. I would definitely recommend you to look at especially those, like, version thresholds details. There are some details, like, for example, nested content. Excuse me, it moved into Umbraco core. So you have to update some of the data types in your Umbraco 7 project. So one example is, for example, Umbraco nested content was added to the Umbraco core. There's this recommendation. Just read all of this information, because some of them could be valid for your project, and it's always good to make sure that things are as good as possible for you. Okay, I think yes. Yeah, please take a look and then make sure that you have got all the things ready before you start doing your upgrades. Okay. Yes, so at this step, it's also important to take a look at some other options, like Kevin Jump has got this using migrations tool. Let me show it again. So this is again another clever tool which has been released recently. I know that quite a few Umbraco community members, they have already used this migrations tool, and they have done their content migrations quite successfully. So take a look at this one. And finally, I need to mention Moriyama's approach. So Matt, please, he has got this wonderful talk, and please take a look on YouTube, watch this video, and he tells you about Moriyama's approach to do the upgrades. Okay. Right, so, and I've already mentioned enter speeds, integration apps. Okay, so here's a screenshot from pre-migration health checks package. So I downloaded the zip file and I installed it from the Umbraco backoffice, and then it gives me this health check tab, and then from here you just check your migration, do your migration tests, and if everything is okay, it shows you this nice screen. Otherwise, you have to fix those problems. Okay, right. So at this point you have already done all of your checks for your V7 website, and now it's time to spin up a new Umbraco 8 website. And when you do this, again, it's very important to spin up a version 8.5.5 website. So don't just go to the latest version of V8, but please spin up a V8.5.5 Umbraco website. This is because from 8.5.5 to 8.6, there are some migration changes. And if you simply go to a higher version of version 8, then it's possible that your data migration, it will fail at some point. An alternative way could be to use the ProWorks Umbraco 8 migrations package. And then if you do that, it is possible you can go higher than 8.5.5. But my personal approach is like I spin up an 8.5.5 website, and then once the data migration is good, then I upgrade to later version of V8. Right. Okay. Okay. So once you have got your new V8, so here the previous step. Go back to previous step again. So once you spin up a new 8.5.5 website, make sure that you complete your Umbraco installation, database creation, etc. Make sure you can log into Umbraco website. And then after that, update the V8 web config file for the connection string and the Umbraco version number. So what you need to do at this point, simply replace your V8 website's connection string with the V7 connection string, and also update the version number from 8.5.5 to your V7 website's version number. And then when you run your project again, that's going to trigger the content migration, and then it will basically do some data transformations as well as creating the content in your V8 website. Okay. Right. So this step is the tricky step. When you run your V8 project at this point, if everything is okay, hopefully data migration will happen, and then you will see your Umbraco backoffice screen, and then you will see your content. But it is also possible that you will see quite a few problems at this point. And depending on the complexity of your project, again, you might end up seeing more than a few problems. But there are quite a lot of Umbraco forum questions and answers, as well as Stack Overflow questions and answers. They have helped me fixing my problems, and hopefully they should help you too. And at this point, if you see lots of problems, and if it feels like you are creating some kind of rabbit hole for yourself, then maybe you can again go back to the start and then think about some different approaches. Maybe use Kevin Jump's package, or I don't know, maybe Moriyama's approach. So just don't waste your time. If it's taking a long time, maybe you have got also custom code changes, and it's not possible to do the normal kind of upgrade. Right. Okay. So step 8. So if you have reached this point, I think you should, make yourself a nice cup of coffee or something stronger, because you have just completed the trickiest bit of your upgrade. And at this point, you have got a v855 Umbraco project up and running. You can see your content, all your Umbraco objects, like document types, data types, content. At least most of them, they should be in your v8 project. And obviously, at this point, obviously, your next step is to upgrade your version 8 to the latest version of v8. Okay. Right. Step 9. Step 9 is now it is time to start working on .NET 6. So at this point, what you should do. Previously, I tried spinning up v9 websites, but don't worry about spinning up a v9 .NET 5 website. But rather than doing that, you can just spin up a v10 and .NET 6 Umbraco website. And again, similar to the approach with v8, finish your normal Umbraco installation, database installation, without creating any Umbraco objects, and make sure you can log into Umbraco backoffice and things are looking good. And then move on to the next step, which is this time, obviously, v10 hasn't got a web config file, but it has this app settings JSON file. So what you are going to do, you're going to start using the v8 connection string this time for your v10 project. So as you know, there is no way to directly upgrade your v8 website to v10. This is due to v8 running on .NET Framework and v10 running on .NET 6. But you can again migrate your content, and in order to do this, just update v10 projects connection string to use the v8 projects connection string. And after you are done with this, and then once you run your project, it is going to again trigger the database upgrade and content migration. And because the v8 database scheme is very similar to the v10 database scheme, then things should be easily upgraded and migrated at this point. And hopefully you won't see any problems. Once all is done, again, log into your v10 website's Umbraco backoffice and check your content. Okay, so this is step 11. So at this point, what you should do, just to be safe, probably you can just upgrade it to the latest version of 11. But smaller upgrades are obviously they are less risky. So I would recommend you to upgrade your v10.01 project to the latest version of v10. Using the whatever you are using. I normally use NuGet Package Manager console. And once the v10 upgrade is complete, then upgrade your project's .NET core version to .NET 7, and then do your Umbraco v11 upgrade. And of course, make sure that everything is good and your content is there. Okay, so from step 1 to step 11, that was all about basically spinning up, making some controls, doing some checks before the upgrades, and then spinning up v8 and v10 and v11 websites, and then doing the data migrations. And step 12 is about creating your custom code. Most projects, they have got a lot of custom code, and at this step you have got a v11 Umbraco website. You have done your content migration. You have got document types, data types, content, some of the custom Umbraco code, etc. And at this point, it is time to create your remaining custom code. So whatever it is, it could be, I don't know, maybe your templates, or it could be your, I don't know, most likely you can copy quite a few things from your v7 project into this new v11 project. But when I say copy, create new classes and maybe copy some of the logic over. But this is all about finishing off the remaining custom code changes. Okay, right. Final notes and future Umbraco upgrades. So as we all know, change is inevitable and it will continue to happen. and it's very important to adapt and upgrade your projects in time using the right tools. Depending on the complexity of your projects, you might have some additional steps. Maybe you will have, I don't know, maybe 15 steps. And if you do, please make sure to share your knowledge with the rest of us. With regards to the future Umbraco upgrades, so Umbraco have started to release a new minor CMS version every 6 weeks and a new major version every 6 months. So you should keep an eye on this Umbraco release schedule, which is publicly available, so that you will know exactly when your next minor or major version is going to be available for you, and then do your plans to continuously do your Umbraco upgrades. As I mentioned before, you can find more details on this Script.io article, which is what I've showed you at the beginning of this presentation. And if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter or on LinkedIn, or here's my GitHub page, and I'll put this presentation in there too. That's all.
Hello and welcome back.
Stop sharing my screen.
Again, Nurhak. I thought that was an excellent talk, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Lots of tips and tricks.
And very relevant with the end of life coming up soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. Upgrades in Umbraco is an evergreen topic, and I think Nurhak had some extremely useful insights to share.
Thanks so much, Purnima. Yes, this is obviously a very tricky question. I believe a lot of people, they have been asking the same questions to themselves, like how best to do the upgrades, especially if you've got a lot of custom code. Obviously, that's very tricky. But with this approach, again, this is more like a community effort. Again, I've been asking questions to a lot of people. A lot of people have answered my questions, including Corny, actually. So thank you very much. Hopefully, these steps should help at least most Umbraco developers to do their upgrades. And again, if I'm missing anything, or if you feel like some additional steps are required, please, share it with all of us.
Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with the community, Nurhak.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
It's fantastic to hear from you on Umbraco Community Day about an evergreen topic like upgrades.
Yes, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
So that was Nurhak presenting us with his tips and tricks on Umbraco upgrades, which was fantastic. I thought very insightful. This is exactly things like this that we would like to learn on the community days in a practical knowledge and real hands-on experience and problems that we can tackle using the tips that he gave us. So it's time for our next talk, I think. We have Paul Seal, who is going to talk to us about hands-on with 10 of the best Umbraco packages. I don't think Paul needs an introduction. We all know Paul Seal, and he's a very good friend of us as well. So do we have Paul?